Testing, testing. Let me check out. Can you hear me? Let me check some of these buttons here. What the heck is that? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, hang on. Mute. Let me make sure. No, that's on mute. Settings. If you can hear me, let me know. I'm looking here. Camera, general, audio. Oh yeah, it looks like I am being heard now. At least it looks like. Let's see, test. The music's okay. I believe you can hear me now. So what I was saying is, I got fired from my job yesterday. So what I did was, from my job, on my way home, I picked up a lottery ticket and I won millions of dollars. And so look what I ran out to a real estate agent at sea and I bought this beautiful mansion. Am I so lucky? Isn't that amazing? Now, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you in in Utah. All right. That would be fun. Wouldn't it have been great if that did happen, though? First of all, I didn't buy it. I never buy lottery tickets. I really should occasionally, because they say you got to be in it to win it. There was a really huge one. I didn't buy it. I had the job. You know, that was the thing. I had a job. You still wouldn't win the big lottery, but yeah. Because thinking, oh, I have a job. Gambling. I mean, you don't need to be gambling anyway, really. You usually lose, but you know, $1 for a ticket, you know. I don't know. I just said, I'm fine. And then I got fired next week. So if I would have bought the ticket, who knows? Now I'll never know. Maybe it was karma that I get fired and then I win the lottery, you know. But anyway, it's a nice fantasy. But yeah, now that I am using this, I can put I pick a different background. Every time I come on here, I'll be in a new mansion, in a new location. That will be fun. I'll be living in mansions around the world online. Anyway, so what I was explaining, this is the dip. I guess it's called dip candy. And it's a sugary kind of stick. Looks like a popsicle stick almost, but thicker. And you just eat the powder. It's like, it tastes like gelatin powder almost. I'm not wearing my contact lenses. I can't see. And I have the filter on, so I look like I have less wrinkles. I really kind of like StreamYard. I can look younger and I can look rich. I guess with the party of guests and the helicopters are coming. I know, I'm getting ready for a fancy party. Okay, you were freaking out. Oh, Andrea, I'm glad you're okay. Your meat keeps cutting in and out. Oh, let me see if I put it here. Is that better? You know, there are these buttons on it that I don't understand. Let me see if I put it on one of these. Is that better? Because one is supposed to be circle sound. I put it on the one that's front and back. Let's see if that's a better. And then, of course, there's a volume on there. Let me see the settings again. See if it. I can't see. I gotta put. I ordered. Oh, of course. Now that I ordered them, but then I got fired after. But that's all right. I already paid for them, so I'm getting my contact lenses. But I'm getting the monthlies. I was getting the dailies before, but I don't know. The dailies, I always end up trying to stretch them, which is not a good thing. You know, you try to stretch them so they last longer. I would try to wear them 2 or 3 days. They usually would end up breaking, ripping, because the dailies are very, very thin. So you use them for a day and they're pretty much, you're supposed to throw them out. But, you know, to save, people try to cheat the system and use them 2 or 3 days. So I would sometimes go as long as 4. I would just use them until they would rip eventually. Like I said, they're very thin. Because sometimes I would wear them, like, especially on a weekend. I might not wear them all morning and then put them on just to go out for an hour or two and come home. You know, why would I throw those out? They were barely used, you know. But anyway, I ended up getting the monthlies because it was slightly cheaper. I still will have to buy saline, but I don't know. I ended up, they were a little bit cheap. They weren't that much cheaper in the long run, I think. Well, assuming I would have worn them 2 or 3 days, it would have ended up being cheaper, but that's okay. So I have a 12-month supply, so that's good. At least I got those before I realized I wasn't going to have any money. But I would still need them anyway. I've got one left. One, I'm not wearing it today. The contact lenses are coming in this week. So I want to have that one for an emergency until I don't have glasses. I don't know where they are. I used to have a pair of glasses. I don't know where they went. I haven't worn them in forever. They're somewhere, but they looked horrible on me. This is really good. Oh, I was going to look at sorry, I'm blahing. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Let me see something. Camera, audio, testing. It looks like it's okay. Let me check the chat again. Yesterday they fired me. When you were moving around, it was cutting out. Now it's better. Okay, I'm going to stay in one place. Oh, those of you who weren't here yesterday, I went to work yesterday. It was Monday, right? Today's Tuesday. Whatever. If it was Monday, I don't even know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday now. I think it's Tuesday. Let me have a quick look. See at my. It's Tuesday. Yeah, so it was yesterday. And here's the thing. I was so excited about going to work yesterday morning because I was thinking, wow, my boss had been away for a week. He'd been on a vacation. Of course, he had me fired while he was, on vacation, the day he was coming back. But so I didn't see him. But anyway, I was thinking, wow, I'm really starting to understand this job. And I had cleared off my workload and I had the desk nice and clean, like all neat. I had labeled all I was like so excited to get to work and show my boss how advanced I'd gotten in the work and stuff, the workload. 5 minutes, I clock in. Oh, hi, the office manager. Hi, Fabiana, come in, come to the conference room. I thought to myself, uh-oh. I didn't expect necessarily in that second to get fired, but it was like, hi, clock in. Hi, come to the conference room. I said, this can't be good. Why would she have to take me to the conference room? That's weird. Just ask me the question. So I went in. I was like, oh, sure. Okay. I acted like I was fine about it. And as soon as I sat down, she puts this kind of sad look on her face. She wasn't, poor thing. I know she didn't want to fire me, but she had to. That was, the boss had told her to. So she says, it's not good news. And I said, oh, no, am I fired? I just said it. I knew. You don't call someone into the conference room, So either that or it could have been, it turned out I was getting fired. The other thing I thought for a fleeting moment was maybe they got this huge project that now, they feel that I can do. It's an important new big project. And she was going to, but, no, as soon as I sat down and she had that look on her face, and even before the words came out, she said, I've got bad news. And she basically said, I didn't ask her for details. She said, basically, we don't feel you're a right fit for the job, which I think I was a right fit for the job in almost every sense, except, and this is what I explained to the people yesterday, I had to collect rents. And sometimes the tenants couldn't pay. And these are businesses. They're not, oh, for goodness sakes, if they were people who could get evicted from the homes, I definitely couldn't have done it. I would have said, stay there for as long as you want for free. That would, I could never have the heart to evict a family, even though if they're not paying, but these are businesses. But even so, someone with a struggling small business, let's say, some of them were huge businesses, and then you don't feel bad. Like, Tires Plus is a huge, strong business. So if they didn't pay, it was just because their administration was off and they just, but sometimes they just couldn't. There's small businesses that maybe they opened and they were behind or whatever. So I just wasn't very good at that. And I'm supposed to charge a fee, and I would sometimes, in quotes, forget because I felt sorry for them. And I would eventually put the fee on if the boss insisted, but sometimes he'd forget, and I wouldn't remind him that we had to put the fee, and that's wrong. My job is to collect for my boss. Granted, so it could be that they saw that if things continued, they would be losing a lot of, income. And, granted, they're right. If they need someone who's got to be a little bit less worried about, you can't pay. He said, if they can't pay the rent, then they're going to have to find a way to pay it. And it's true. It's business. We're renting you this space. We've agreed for this amount of time, the contract, it's all that I completely understand. But my heart just, especially if it was a woman business owner, I know I shouldn't make the difference, but you know, women, you know, and we've got to support each other. And she's a woman with her own business. You know, I would get even so that happened a couple of times. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe the boss said, nice lady, does, you know, she does the part of her work that, you know, has to do with numbers and all that. Oh my gosh. I had every penny down to the last penny. There was never anything missing in my calculation. This is the money that came in. This is what we paid. I mean, and there was a lot of numbers. It wasn't just like an in and out one account. They had all these bank accounts and all these different shopping malls and, you know, well-off family. I wouldn't call them billionaires, though. You don't get to be a billionaire easily with shopping malls because there's a lot that you got to pay to maintain them. And although the customers, you know, the tenants do pay up, you know, I learned a lot. I will admit that the pay was okay. It wasn't that great, but I really enjoyed the work and I was starting to get excited about it. And bookkeeping was a career I'd never seriously thought about. You know, I'd always done a little bookkeeping as a secretary, but this was more in-depth bookkeeping, you know. And I really liked it. But anyway, it didn't work out. So, but I'm thinking I'm going to pursue bookkeeping. You know, I have a little experience, 3 months. I wasn't there very long. Because I started temping in another position as kind of a secretary. And then the bookkeeper happened to leave. And, you know, I think they just needed someone to fill until they found a real bookkeeper, you know. But I guess they figured, let's give her a chance. Maybe it'll work out, you know. But I think in hindsight, they said, look, we're desperate. Let's let her try. If she doesn't work out, we'll get rid of her, you know. But I kind of feel a little bit used now, but that's okay. I am grateful that I learned that I might like to get into bookkeeping. You know, it's kind of a little bit higher than a secretary. And who knows, I even would consider, you know, I left on good terms. I told her, oh, you know, that's too bad. I was a little sad inside, but I wasn't destroyed. You know, I've been fired under worse situations or quit angry with I usually leave on good terms, but with one of my employers, I left on angry terms. But just the one. I've always left on good terms. So with them, I left on good terms, I think. And so who knows? You know, if I want to, maybe they can't give me a reference as a bookkeeper because I was only there 2 or 3 months working in that job. But they would probably give me a good reference. And I'll tell them, look, even though it didn't work out with you guys, I really realized that I liked bookkeeping. And I see there are some courses. There are a lot of scams, too. I want to take some courses, you know. Anyway, this is starting to get sour. I told you it wasn't sour, but it's starting to get sour. Let me read the chat. So, yeah, I lost my job. Yeah, and I'm not looking yet. I will look, and I am going to look into accounts payable or account receivable, which is a step into bookkeeping. But I'm okay for now. I wanted to visit my friend in Maryland anyway. So I'm going to visit him on the credit card. I mean, I kind of really shouldn't be using my credit card. That was another reason I liked that job. I was getting paid a little better than I was as secretary. You know, and while I said it wasn't a huge, great salary, but it was enough that I could pay my credit card a large chunk per month. I've got a few thousand on there. So, and now, you know, I'm going to be paying the minimum, you know, until I start working again. So I really should just get right back to work. But I wanted to visit my friend anyway, and I really miss him. And who knows, maybe when I'm up there, I'll temp or something. I don't know. I got to see. And I have to go to Argentina again. So I'll probably visit him, temp a little to save up a little money, and then go to Argentina for a quick trip because I've got some things I have to do down there. I need to go to Argentina at least once a year. And I've been seeing advertisements for working remotely as a bookkeeper. I think I could do that. Like, you have your clients and now that would entail accounts receivable, which is what I had trouble with, you know, with the other people. But, you know, maybe if I take some courses on how to deal with accounts receivable, like you know, they had told me, well, use this technique. You don't have to be mean, but you have to be firm. And maybe I just have to learn that, or maybe I could find one where I don't have to do collections. Like maybe I can find a place that needs everything except collections. Like maybe they have a separate collections department. That would be ideal for me. So I don't have to deal with the actual. I'm broke. I'm not ready yet. I still got a lot of powder in there. I'm going to go like this. So then I was going to borrow my father's car. He said I could borrow it. And go to a fabric store, and maybe a friend of mine had asked me to make some sports shirts, and I thought maybe I'd go. I didn't promise him I would go maybe buy some fabric, see if I can actually pull it off, because I make these really crappy I don't want to promise him, and then I make these crappy shirts, and then, but I don't know. Okay, 1 minute, I'm gonna dump the powder. I'm gonna eat the stick. The stick is not very flavorful. It's just, it tastes like nothing. A little sugary, but what gives it the flavor is this stuff. I'm gonna dump both in my mouth because I really need the cavities. But thank you, Andrea Farella. Okay, 1 second. One. You know what? It wasn't sour at first. It's starting to taste sour. Uh-oh. I hope I don't make a mess. Hang on. Oh, it's sour now. It tastes like sweet tarts. I don't want you guys to see my face. All right. It was pretty good. I got a little water. I had to wash it down. It was too much all at once. Oh, it gets sour if you get too much at once. It wasn't sour before, but when I had those sour Skittles, I overdid it on the candy. Oh, but yeah, I'm allowing myself a day of sulking, and like I said, I'm not that depressed. I've been worse, but I don't know. I kind of wish, even though, like I said, I wasn't desperately like loving that job. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the kind of work, but I'll get over it. See, I got to argue with some people here online who liked what I said. Jack Rabbit. He's okay. Thank goodness. Some dumb lady. I never fight with women online. It's always dumb men, but lately women have been fighting, which is a good thing. Because it's easier to argue with women for me than with men. Just a little bit, not, you can get disrespectful with women too online. But I'm always slightly more respectful of the women, and they're always slightly more respectful of me. Not much more respectful. It's still an online argument, but, Ow, this hurts. Okay, Okay, so let's see. I got a plan for my party. I liked what one of you said, that the helicopters are coming in for my party. 1 second, though. Great. You guys, I ate all that candy. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'll be right there. I got to start taking care of my feet. I hope it's right. All right. I'll admit to you guys something. Those of you who were on here yesterday, and I was telling you about how these candies sometimes will pull out your crowns if you're not careful. Or it happened yesterday. So I have it on there, but it's loose. I'm gonna have to go to the dentist. And just to glue it back in, he's gonna charge hundreds. I don't have dental coverage, but I have to do it. I need to go anyway. Well, it'll inspire me to start working. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna I'm gonna go to Maryland, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna work a little bit and plan my trip to Argentina while I'm working, temping, saving up a little money for the trip, pay the minimum on my credit card until I have another steady income. And yeah, my parents say, oh, we can help you, but I don't, we can loan you I'm not going to pay my parents back. I know myself. They always loan me money to help me, and I never pay them back, and they don't make me feel bad about it. Anyway, I don't know if they can loan me as much as I'm in debt. I didn't tell them how deep in debt I am. It's a few thousand. I've really been irresponsible. But see, that's the thing that makes me mad. I was being responsible now. I was back on track. I was working. I was paying my... But I don't feel like working now. I mean, a responsible person would say, oh, I lost my job. Next day, call the temp agent, start working. But it's like I got to get myself all, some of us are naturally not very go-getter, and yeah, definitely. If my parents didn't let me live in their garage, I'd probably be working already through a temp agency at whatever they pay me, but yeah, and for goodness sakes, if they loan me the money, I'm going to even have less of a reason to go back to work. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the part of me is lazy, but a part of me feels bad about being lazy, and I'm like, if I'm going to be a lazy bum, I'm not going to be living off other people more than I already am, living off my parents, basically. But, if I'm going to be lazy, I at least should suffer for it, I'm a strange person. But anyway. Hey there. Oh, hi, Desmond again. But you know what really got me to want to go back to work was my godson, because I noticed, it's getting tight and I can't take him out to do fun things anymore. And he was okay. I'd take him to a park, and he'd be fine. There's a fun park out in Key Biscayne, actually. He loves that park. He's always happy. It's free. Just go and he plays and then we go home. So it's not like he ever asked for a lot, but, sometimes it's raining and we can't go to the park. And like one day it was raining. I think we ended up going to a shopping mall. But then, of course, there's all this nice stuff that he's not a greedy kid. But, of course, little kid, he's 9. Anything you see, you want someone to buy you. And while I don't agree with, just buy him whatever you want, even if I had the money, I still agree that, within limits, you got to give children things. But I wanted to, and yeah, I would use the credit card sometimes, but that's part of the reason I'm so in debt, because it's like money's no object. You love him, you want to be happy, and we'd go eat somewhere, and even if you say, okay, I'm gonna keep it cheap today, you still, food here, $10 here, for example, and McDonald's ends up being like $15 now for one meal. I don't know how it gets so high. And, we'll do there, and then we'll go to whatever thing you want to do. You got to spend at least $15, if it's not the free park. So, or, we could have started going to get sandwiches at the supermarket. They have like a deli. That's usually cheaper. And you get more food, actually. It's a better deal. But, one time I did take him to get sandwiches, and he didn't like that particular sandwich. We had asked for it. He had asked for it, but it turned out he didn't like it. And so I ended up buying him McDonald's anyway, because I wanted him. So, having him makes me want to work. But I don't see him all the time. So, it's just once or twice a month. I want to have the money to take him out or whatever. Or he needs things, sometimes he's starting school. So sometimes he just needs a little, he needs money. I give his grandmother money because I know she's a very dear friend. I know she's going to use it where where it needs to be used. So, he needs school clothes for school. His grandmother's washer broke, for example. He has no way to wash his clothes. His mother is in and out of shelters sometimes, or even when she is living in a house, she doesn't have a laundry facility, so she has to go to. So she doesn't always have the money to do his laundry, and your child has to. Her child, but the ones you love, you want them to have clean clothes for school. That it's important. They can't go to school with dirty clothes and get teased. You shouldn't tease children who have dirty clothes, obviously, but it's a problem, the low self-esteem. It's a whole chain of things. So, he has to go to school being proud of, oh, I got my nice clothes clean. Someone loves me enough to keep me looking nice. And it's sad that this things we take for granted. Some communities, washing clothes is a to-do. I don't have money for the laundromat, and I've got my underwear is all dirty. Sure, you can wash it by hand, okay, but what if it's raining? How are you going to dry it? And Florida's usually sunny and hot, but granted, if you got to do what you got to do, but sometimes it's just too much, and you end up going to school with your clothes dirty. Washing underwear is quick, but washing a shirt, let's say you only have a couple of shirts, some people are at the end of the month, there's like nothing left. Look at me, and I mean, I'm not even. My point is, I want to work. Let's get back to that. I want to work. I think that's what's going to inspire me when I realize I can't take him out to do little fun things. Yeah, I'm going to want to work, and also to incentivize him. I mean, it's kind of, let's say, cheating, but you incentivize children by saying, okay, well, if you get an A on your test, or if you get a B or a C, let's maybe not make it too difficult, but a B I think isn't unreasonable. We'll go to do whatever, the fun activity he wants to do, a baseball game, or so it helps when you're raising kids to have a little of that money to offer them, whatever, something as a reward for doing well in school, or for, being respectful of their mother, or, because sometimes he mouths off, and I tell him, if your grandmother tells me that you've been mouthing off to her, we're not going to go to do whatever, whatever I had told him we would do. And we end up going anyway, but, because then we're, but yeah, we don't spoil him too much. We try not to. His grandmother and I, we're kind of both, his godmother. She's his grandmother, but I'm like the, godmother. But we kind of work as a team. But she's the one, I tell him, if I say one thing and your grandmother says another thing, your grandmother's the boss. I always make sure he knows there's no, I'm just the godmother that comes, and we have fun sometimes, but she knows you better than anyone. So, and your mother, of course, but I don't know his mother very well. Oh God, is somebody arguing with me again? I have to argue back. I can't back down. Oh God, help me. Let's see. What did she say? Blah, 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 blah. It's about veganism now. Okay, she put that there. She put that there. Okay, where is it though? Where's her comment? I gotta fight with her. Oh no, it's gone. There. Oh, where is it? Did she? Well, if somebody's gonna argue with me, I have to. No, I guess it's an old argument. I don't want to. I hope somebody doesn't start arguing it, because I will argue. I like to argue online, and I argue, and then I get tired. I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't respond. And then, all right, so it dies down for a while. So they're like, okay, it's over. No more arguing. And then the next day, I might get a comment on that post. Oh, I got to argue back, And who cares? In the end, nobody's going to change anybody's mind. But I feel that it's important we all show our views. And then whoever's reading them decides for themselves if they agree or not, But this last lady was making me angry. She was kind of calling me names. I did call her a name too. I did not call her a name. I called the group that she is a part of a name. Not a bad word, but it wasn't nice. It was not a nice word. But it wasn't a bad, like, cuss word or anything. But so, but I only did it the one time to the whole group of of the group that she's a part of. But she made a direct attack of me directly, making, calling me names. So, you know, I didn't respond to that. I just let her say whatever she felt like saying. I don't respond to ad hominem attacks. Desmond knows all about my argumentativity. And then, then I need to get distracted. So I thought to myself, I'm arguing too much. Why don't I go do a live? That's what I did last time. When Desmond also knows I was arguing on the Facebook, and I said, okay, I really wrote some mean things. Okay, I deleted some of the stuff, Desmond, and then I came right here online. But sometimes I'll even I'll have a view. But then if the other person agrees with that view, I flip to the other side and I take the other view. Because I believe there should be balance. If there's somebody arguing one point, you got to know both sides. So you jump to the other side to make it even. So that not one side is always getting all the, you got to show all sides of the argument. So, and it's worked for me on Tinder dates that I've disliked the person and I needed an excuse. So they would, whatever political view they had, I would take the opposite just to fight with them so I wouldn't have to see them again, or I could just walk out or something, rather than just say I'm not interested in you, which would have been better, or I don't think there's a connection, I think is what. But sometimes they really like you. You could tell. Back in the day, I don't do that anymore. I don't do the online dating anymore, but when I used to, like sometimes you'd meet a man and you'd know right away that, early on in the conversation, he's not, I don't like him. And I was at that time, I was sort of like, why am I going to waste my time? I don't like him. I don't find him attractive. He's kind of a jerk, so, you gotta be polite, which I fully think you need to be polite. But I was at a point where I was so frustrated. I said, why am I wasting my time? And so we would start talking and I would, I think if he would bring up politics, of course I would take that opportunity. But yeah, I would just be very contrary. But it was so that I could start a fight so that I could leave, Ugh. I'm not proud of it. And actually one of the people, I think may be dead now, because I'll tell you why. Because, you have these people's name, you meet someone online, let's say, and you, whatever, get together and you exchange phone numbers sometimes. Even if you don't really know each other. They say you're not supposed to exchange phone numbers that early on, but I guess at my age, I felt a phone number it's not, I guess it is a little bit intimate, but and then you have them on your phone. So then, with these new algorithms, anyone who's on your phone, it'll pop up online. Oh, so-and-so is in your contacts. Do you want to friend them on Facebook or whatever? Or Snapchat, or, people that you, so there was this one guy I had a huge fight with because I didn't like him. And I found an excuse to have a fight with him, basically, I'll admit. And then I stormed off and never saw him again. But then I kept getting, recently, in the past few years, I mean, that was years and years ago. I even did a YouTube video on it on this Ramble channel. The jerky yacht guy, I think it was called, or something, if some of you remember that. This guy who had a yacht, who thought he was all that, and I just was like, whatever. But I kept getting, Captain so-and-so, I'll make up the name. It was Captain another name, but I'll make up the name. So not that you would even know who he was, but Captain George, I'll make that up. So I had him in my phone as Captain George, because he was a captain. So he said, put me in there as Captain George. And so then he would pop up every once in a while, and with his face that I remembered that and I'd see his face, but I didn't block it for some reason. So it kept coming up, Facebook or Instagram or wherever. And then lately it popped up, and it still has his name because I have him in my phone as that name, but it's a different face and it's some young guy. So you know how it is. If someone dies and they don't have that number anymore, some new person gets the number, and some person I don't even know. So that happened to me. So I'm guessing, he wasn't young when I met him, and guessing maybe now he's moved on to the next realm. It was many years ago, like 2015-ish, maybe, years ago or so. I mean, he wasn't young at the time. He was older. So yeah, maybe he's gone. I mean, I guess that's not unlikely. You know, a few of the Tinder dates was on maybe have, I never saw them again. Maybe have moved on, but moved on in, to the other, have died. Have died. I can say it. Oh, and another experience I had though. OMG, this one is weird. So I had a car bumper, a bumper fender, a fender bender, but it wasn't my fender. It was the side of my car. One day I was trying to make a right turn and there was a car, and I tried to go around the car like this, and I hit the back of her bumper. So, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Called the insurance. My insurance paid because it was my fault. But when that happened, I was like, oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Right away, nice lady. She was a little mad at first, but when she saw that I took complete responsibility, why not? It was my fault, so I'm not going to cause a scene. So let's get the cars out of the street, and like, I'll give you my information, blah, blah, blah. So we called the police. We ended up deciding, look, we're both nice people. You have my information. Let's just go home. I'll call my insurance. I'll give you the claim number. And she trusted me, and we did it. That's what we did. And it turned out perfect. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. So while we were waiting for the police, she was talking to her husband. I don't know. This has never happened to me before. The same thing. I called my friend who's a lawyer. I don't know what I just did. I texted him actually. And so we were both like in our own little world talking to our men, the men in our life that, I don't want to sound sexist, but we were both two women that didn't know what the heck to do. She's like, I never had an accident before. So, her husband was saying, don't leave, get the police there. She's going to run off, because her husband didn't know. He was giving her the right advice. And so she kind of was trying to do what her husband was saying because he was giving her sound advice. I could have just run off and not given her or given her fake info. Who knows? But anyway, it wasn't the case. But here's the point. So while we were doing that, talking to our different people that we were help us, we don't know what to do. This kind of Latino looking guy, nice looking, comes up, thin, probably about my age. Hola señora, ¿qué pasa? Speaking to me in Spanish. Like, he looked like one of those very humble, like, one of those very educated but humble and maybe low educated migrant workers. I'm sorry if that sounds, but that's what he reminded me of. Very, very polite, very, I can help you. Maybe I know some people who can fix the car, which I don't blame him. Hey, some business, why not? Maybe I would have accepted it. But so at the time, and he was being all, nice. So I thought to myself, yeah, maybe I could get his number. Who knows? I may decide to get my car fixed with this person, whatever. So I put his number into my phone. He didn't have my number, but I took his number. I said, oh, okay. If I, in Spanish the whole time, if it looks, after this is all over, I may give you a call. I will need to have my car fixed. It was all dented and stuff. I ended up denting it anyway. But so, but then after I got his number in my phone and everything's, hey, I'm actually American. He started talking perfect English, American accent, and then we started kind of joking around how I'm white. So many times people are surprised that I speak perfect Spanish and that I'm Latina and all that, because I don't look like the what you would expect normally. Because Argentines are white, but a lot of people don't know that. Most Argentines. But anyway, I hate saying that, but it's true, and it's for bad reasons. And he was the opposite. He was perfect. He was born. Well, I was born in the U.S. too, but he was also born in Chicago, raised, of Latino parents. But so he looked like I said, one of those. And the way he was acting kind of made me believe he was just a lower educated, migrant worker that, or that type. So then we started joking, like, hey, we should go out to a bar sometime, and I'll act like I don't know Spanish and you act like you don't know English, and we'll do something, some just
fool people or what. Just, I don't know. We didn't think of anything in particular, but just like it would be funny to, and then suddenly I'll start speaking perfect Spanish and he starts speaking, and then people will be like, wait, what? You know? So it was kind of a fun conversation, but that's that, you know, and then whatever, the police never did come. The police patrol car didn't, a ticket person came and said, well, if you ladies are in, you know, he kind of said, look, the police are going to take forever. It was rush hour. And he said, if you ladies are in, you know, agreement, y'all can just leave. I'll take a little report here of your names. I don't know how it works, but it was all good. So we all decided to just go. And I said goodbye to the guy and I left. That's it. Never called him. I ended up having the car fixed somewhere else. And shortly after having it fixed, I scraped it up again. So that's that. But the point is, his name was in my phone and his number. So, you know, whatever, forgot about it. And then, you know, a couple of months later, it started popping up. And the thing is, I had never gotten his full name. I got Jose, let's say. Jose, and I said, Jose, collision on X Street and Y Street, you know, like the corner where it happened. So I would remember where I met him. So that would pop up every once in a while. Jose, collision on such and such street is on Instagram. Would you like to friend him? And I was like, well, I thought to myself, no, I mean, you know, yeah, that's kind of funny how he's popping up and, you know, but his picture wasn't on any of it. It was just like, you know, how on Snapchat, it's just like a cartoon character of you or another one. So it wasn't his picture. So I didn't remember what he looked like, but I remembered that he was thin and kind of handsome, but kind of street, a little kind of, which was a little scary to me, you know, a little kind of those rough street kids. Like he grew up in a rough part of Chicago. It was my impression. But nothing wrong with that, but I just didn't feel like there would be a connection. I was a little bit wary and a little too handsome for my comfort, because a man my age who's handsome, who's got a little swag, he's not going to be only with one woman. So I figured, why bother? So, but then one day, but he didn't have my number. So I thought to myself, okay, his keeps popping up on mine, but mine isn't going to pop on his because he never got my number. So whatever, I'll just ignore it. I didn't block it, but I just ignored it. And but then suddenly one day on Snapchat, because I have a Snapchat, I have all of them. I don't use them. I have a Snapchat that I never use, but it's there, you know, it's downloaded on my phone. So it was on Snapchat, and I got to look up. Oh yeah, but you got okay. So you know, and I had seen him on the Snapchat. Would you like to be friends with so and so? And I just would ignore it. So then suddenly I got a message on the Snapchat, like they have a messenger thing on there, and he said, "Hey, gorgeous." And I thought to myself, "Hey, does he remember who I am?" Like, first of all, I was wondering since he didn't have my number, I was wondering how. I guess there's something now that even if they don't have your number, if you have their number, it connects you now, which I didn't expect to happen. So I thought to myself, but he never got my number. So probably he doesn't remember who I am, and he's just taking a wild stab at it, calling me gorgeous in case I turn out to be gorgeous. But I wanted to know if he remembered me, but I didn't want to give him a hint as to who I was, if he even remembered me, which it happened a while back. I think it happened in 2022, so it was probably a year ago. I doubt he remembered, but anyway. So then I didn't respond at first because I said, I want to respond so that he responds, like letting me know that he knows who I am without me giving him hints. So I was trying to think what to say, because he just said, "Hey, gorgeous." So that's what I said. "How do you know I'm gorgeous? You've never seen my picture." Like hoping or thinking maybe he would say, kind of hoping, you know, I might have maybe wouldn't have minded getting to know him, because he was interesting how he was perfect American and all that, but more thinking he might remember. So I was expecting him to respond maybe something like, "Oh, don't you remember you had that crash on X Street and we talked," you know, but didn't answer. So I figured, yeah, he doesn't remember. He's just taking a wild guess that maybe I'm gorgeous because I happen to have popped up on his phone, and he's hoping maybe. And he didn't have his pictures on his. He just had the cartoony thing, uh, a thing. So, but here's what happened. So nothing too bad, but suddenly, like a day later, I got a message, that there's a message in my Snapchat. So I said, oh, okay, that guy, I guess let's see what he has to say. I click it, and it's him standing naked with, just showing me his body, like kind of like implying, hey, but he didn't say a word, just his body, and naked, but just barely cutting off what, that part, which I appreciate. But he was just hoping maybe, I'm convinced he has no idea who I was. He was just, but anyway, now I am kind of glad that I didn't give him my number but, and then Snapchat, I guess it stays up there 24 hours. So, but I looked and I was like, oh God, it was just kind of sleazy, But that only proves what I said. I said a guy that handsome, who's got this swag, this kind of street tough Chicago swag, can be very attractive. And even if he and I did end up, he would have other women. And I'm just, look at what he did. So I wasn't too far off that. I've lived long enough to know what types, But just some woman he doesn't even know. And let's assume, I was not saying I'm ugly, but let's assume, I was even uglier than I am. I'm not saying I'm ugly, but I'm older. Maybe he was thinking I was some hot young thing or something. Then what? He would have been stuck with this old lady, having to make an excuse, So that happened. So I'm not really crazy about that thing where they detect your. I guess I should just delete the phone numbers of the people I don't want popping up, But for some reason, I don't like to delete numbers. There may be a reason that I need to keep it for whatever reason sometime. But, I may end up deleting some of these numbers. I don't know why. I have a thing about deleting people. I don't delete or block, or I feel that there should be this openness, I might not friends. I may, like, if someone I have refused friend requests in the past, from people I don't know, but now I'm pretty much public, so I don't care, but I don't friend them, even if you friend them, even if you don't friend them, they can still read a lot of my posts. Some of my posts are private, but most of my posts are, I decided one day, look, if people are going to hold something over my head for something I said on the internet, they better know the full picture. So I'm not going to hide anything I say. That way they can judge me on what I say here, but then they'll see that I said this over here and realize that they don't have the full context. Because that's what they'll do. They'll take something you said out of context and then make it into this whole thing. And, and I was getting a little of that from some of my friends, not from any other people, but some of my actual friends started saying stuff about me that weren't true just because I didn't agree with them. I'm getting angry again, Desmond. Desmond is my conscience. But my own friends that I went to high school with made those judgments of me when they should know better. That's when I decided I am not hiding a single thing what I say from anyone anymore. If they find me, or if they decide to Google me, they'll see what I think in all things, and they can agree or disagree. But that's it. I'm not going to hide. It's worse if you hide. But it really hurt me. One friend blocked me and unfriended me because he accused me of being something that I wasn't, because of something that I wasn't opining. And he decided that just because I believe this one way, I must believe all this other stuff that has nothing to do with it. Anyway, that's why I've gotten kind of angry on the internet, because of that one experience, to be honest. What led up to that experience? Because before that, I was like, oh, I don't want to fight. Oh, I better not say something too harsh because I don't want to fight. And I was always, oh, be careful because they get upset. And finally, one day I got angry that I had to hold it in. And I said what I thought. And it was not a popular belief. It was the defense of the I'll tell you what it was. It was defense of the Central Park Karen that had her life ruined and her dog taken away because she called the cops on the bird watcher, which I agree she was wrong. She shouldn't have done that. But I think what they did to that woman was not fair. Yes, she shouldn't have been such a Karen. They called her Central Park Karen, but it was overboard what they did to her. And they were calling her, she's a racist and she's this, and she got fired from her job. I don't believe that woman was racist. That particular, there are cases where the people are racist, but that particular woman, there was something else going on there. This context was a different context. And only because I identified in part with that woman, and I could see how this thing could blow up, how she could freak out because of her mouth that she can't shut. I think that's what it boiled down to, in my opinion. I think I've said this before. That Central Park Karen was a little bee. She was out, I'm going to do what I want. She was in a bad mood. Maybe it was that time of the month, and people say, oh, you're being sexist. No, I'm not. At that time of the month, some women, or just before, get very bee. And I was one of those women when I used to. That time of the month, just before, I would have picked fight with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would have picked a fight with some big brawny man that you're not to tell me what. And I've gotten slapped for it when I was in grammar school. I got slapped in the face by a guy because of my mouth. So and I got punched another time from another guy so I can see, and I learned my lesson, no matter how mad you are, be careful. You can get punched. I'm not saying it was right what those kids did, but you're a small woman. You really do need to, because some men can't control themselves and they're going to do something to you. They shouldn't. They should have been taught that women can be difficult and you got to not hit one, but some men haven't learned that patience, and you do have to weigh the situation. Like in that case, perhaps if there had been more people around, she could have. And the man turned out not to be a violent man, as it turned out. But I think that she got herself into a situation where she freaked out. Oh my gosh. And the man had said something that sounded scary. It turns out, I think he meant something else. It was all innocent after all. But I could see how she got herself into a situation. And holy, what did I just, oh my God, now he's going to kill. She thought he was going to hurt her dog. He wasn't going to, apparently, but I think he was offering the dog treats to get the dogs from chasing after the birds that he was trying to watch. Some of you may remember the story. And then it kind of escalated, and then the woman got scared that he was going to hurt her dog, and then the dog on top of that, if you watch the video, it almost makes you laugh, because the dog, innocent thing, saw the man giving him treats and was desperately trying to get back to the man because he wanted those treats, and the woman was desperately trying to keep the dog with her and call the police because she thought the man was going to hurt her dog. And then she just kind of freaked out and said, an African-American man is trying to hurt me, maybe using the fact that he was African-American, hoping he'd get scared and run away. Yes, she did definitely use it. The fact that he was African, she did use that. But in my opinion, at that moment, she was going to use whatever was in her power to save herself and the dog. She was a little nutty. Yes. Like I have been known to be at times. Sometimes I take medication, like I've told you guys. I'm not hiding. I don't have anything to be ashamed of. Everyone needs help sometimes. And as it turns out, that woman did have some issues with mental health. And again, that time of the month, if you are a little bit of a nervous person, sometimes some women at that time, and I don't know if that was her case, but I could also see how just everything snowballed. It was the pandemic. Maybe that poor dog hadn't been out all day and she wanted him to be free and enjoy himself. It was her baby. There was too much in the context that was not being taken into consideration, and they destroyed the woman's life. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Yes, the black man would have been in danger, if the police would have come, and who knows what could have happened. I'm not denying that part. But my point is, when I got into the fight with that friend of mine from high school, which is what really hurt me, it's not like he didn't know me. He should know me well enough to know that I'm not a racist, or at least not. Sure, they claim that all of us are a little bit racist. I try not to be, but maybe there are things I say that, but I'm not one of those, And he said, "Oh well, if you don't agree with us, you're racist because that woman is a racist." And I don't believe that woman was a racist either. I believe that woman did use his race in that moment because of her fear. And she said, "Oh, maybe if I tell him I'm calling the police and saying that he's black, maybe he'll get scared and run away." I don't think her intention was to harm the man. In hindsight, he could have been harmed. I'm not denying that part. And that's what I tried to make clear to him. I'm not saying the woman didn't do something horrific, but I don't think her intent was to harm anyone, but to save her from perceived danger. That anyway, as it turns out, he did that. He blocked me, and it really hurt my feelings because I knew him from freshman year, and we were friends all through high school, and these are people who should know better. How dare he block me like that? Just for the one time that I have an opinion that's not like what his is. And also, he was being very sexist to me, where he claims to be he's not sexist. And in that conversation, he said some sexist things against me. I'm so mad right now. Well, it still hurts. It was years ago that happened. Whenever the Central Park Karen, when did that happen? So it was that moment that I said, that's it. He, first of all, accused me of something that I'm not, just because I tried to see the other side of the story. And identified with the Central Park Karen. I'm not saying all the Karens are good, but that particular one, I'm not saying she was good, but you see, it is my point. People just take out of context whatever they want. Even this video, someone's going to take out the clip, the part where I say, and then, if they want to. So, but that's why the only way I can not have people treating me like that is just to be who I am. Okay, anyway, Central Park Karen. And actually, the gentleman, thankfully and happily, went on to National Geographic because of what happened to him. It actually luckily, it ended up turning well for him because National Geographic realized that he was a very, very good at bird watching and had him narrate, I think, a few episodes of National Geographic. Central Park. And I think she did get her dog back. They took the dog. It was a dog, her baby. They removed the dog because they said she's mistreating the dog. Look how she's dragging the dog around. Because she was afraid the dog was going to go to the man that was going to feed him who knows what in her mind. If you had a child, let's say you have a toddler, and some strange man says, "Hey, keep your kid," he's bothering the bird. Let's pretend, some grumpy man or whatever. The woman was wrong because she should have had her dog on the leash. But and then he says, "Oh, you're not going to like what I do next," and pull out some candy for the baby. And your baby's desperately trying to get to him because he's offering the baby candy. And then he just said, "You're not going to like what I do next." Don't tell me you wouldn't freak out if your child was trying to get to that old man. I say he's not old, he's young, but that person, whoever the person is who's offering the candy. Central Park Karen. Even if it's your fault, even if you started the argument, once it escalates and you perceive danger and to your baby, which women, I do it myself. I'm trying to keep it at bay. Your dog is your baby. Your dog is not your friend. For most women, your dog is your baby. Men see dogs as friends, have a little bit more of I'm not saying a distance. He's a best friend, but he's a friend. And women see our dogs, especially when they're little ones, as babies. And that was a cocker. Okay, 2020. It was during the pandemic. So May 2020 it happened. So ever since May 2020, I decided, okay, all my social media, it was on friends only mostly. Instagram, I think, was public, but I had nothing on there. And I said, from now on, all my social media is going to be public. And any argument I have with anyone online, they can Google me all they want and form their own opinion of me by seeing every place I am on the internet. I'm not saying I'm embarrassed of my ASMR, but yeah, my ASMR, even it's there, I don't think you could tell much about me from the ASMR, just that I do ASMR, which some people consider weird, but 6 people. Anyway, so do you guys like my mansion? The newcomers, I bought a lottery ticket, as you can see, and here, let me show you. I'm going to go dive in the swimming pool. Oh, that was fun. That was a great swim. Did you enjoy that? I really like this app. And on Twitch, you can do the same thing. You could change the background. I got to get a better mansion though. That one's it's okay. I think I'd like a nicer one. That was a little square looking. It's I think it's in here. Let me see if I can find another mansion right now. I think I'm going to move. Let's find another one. Let's see. I'm going to find a mansion, you know where? In the mountains. Colorado mansion. Let's see. Colorado mansion. Let's see. Search for your dream home. Oh, that's you can't see out the window very well. That one's okay. I mean, here's a pretty one with. Oh, it's a very bright room. Let's see. Yeah, you know, Colorado mansions. I mean, if it's they're not really mansions. They're just places to live. All right, I'll find a. I'll just. It's not a mansion. It's like a kind of a nice apartment. Let's see. And I wonder some of these people, like I'm doing it actually, obviously not very well, but I watch some people sometimes and their house is so nice and it often looks the same all the time. I think to myself, I wonder if that's one of those, but they're more careful about it, you know, and maybe they have a real green screen. How come I can't close this? How do I close it? I can't close it. I'll have to do this. All right. Condos. Oh, it's warm in here. I'm going to have to put on the air conditioner. Zillow. Whoa, 21,000. Oh, I can't get in there. It's a video. I can't use that. $21,000 mansion. That's pretty. Colorado luxury real estate for sale. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take down one of the real estate pictures. Colorado luxury home for sale. Okay. Oh, this one's $4 million. $4,600,000. Okay, let's pick one. Oh my gosh, it's getting so warm in here. All right, well, it's a 5-bedroom, 6-bath. Okay, let's go in there. Let's pick one of the rooms. Mansion Global, it's called. The website is Mansion Global. Let's see. This one. Oh, come on, pick a good one. Yeah, they're not okay. It's I want to see all the rooms though. I can't see the rooms. It's only showing. Let me see this one. Frontage. All right, I'll just pick this one. Here's a condo for sale. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sweating. I gotta put on the air conditioner. Hang on. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of, I've always thought I'd like to teach, and then I just always end up not doing it. And then I started this little kind of teaching online thing, but not for money. I want to teach, because I just think it's nice that people learn from you. But I was thinking of doing like the GED study classes, just publicly, and whoever wants to study along, people who maybe need to get their GED, and then move on into secretarial. Like I try to, kind of teach people a trade. And bookkeeping now I know a little bit. I just am not very organized about how I teach. You got to have a lesson plan, and I kind of do the videos and edit them, and I'm not a real teacher. I'm better. I guess I'd be a good tutor more than a teacher. A tutor, you don't have to schedule the classes, and you don't have to have a lesson plan. You just have to do what the child has studied in school. Or child or person. What's this? I gotta plug that in. Hang on. All right. Oh, I watched this lady. Oh, somebody answered on where I'm arguing, but it's not on Facebook. It's somewhere else. I'm not gonna tell you where it is. Oh no, I don't feel like fighting right now. Oh no. Let me see. Well, it acts like somebody answered. No, she didn't. Oh, it just keeps telling me someone answered. All right, nobody's arguing. Okay, I am not going to rock the boat. Please, I will never argue again with anyone ever again. Ever. on some on Facebook. I'm not going to argue because sometimes I pick fights on Facebook. Well, pick. I don't pick fights. I put my opinion. You can just, you don't like my opinion, just scroll on by. But I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get people angry so they come and fight with me. And it's worked occasionally. All right. Let's see here. No, but yes, I say it in a provocative way to get discussion going too. Because here's the other thing: fighting is not fighting. Arguing within reason on Facebook is not always a bad thing, because some people learn from the argument. I even have learned from other people while arguing my point. I'm right and I'm right, and even though sometimes I have been made to show that what I've said was wrong, of course I'm not going to admit it, but in that conversation I learned something new, and then I'll go and Google and, oh, actually what that guy said was true. I'll never admit it to the person, of course, don't do that, but there have been occasions where I've been arguing my point and I'm right. I make them think, and then they say something. Maybe I feel like I'm right on everything, but then they'll say one thing that, so arguing, especially younger people, I learned a lot arguing with my mother, because I would say something and then she would say, oh yeah, really? Well, blah, blah, blah. She's older and wiser. And part of it was regarding abortion. I actually was extremely pro-choice, like beyond. I said, I'll just abort the. She said, well, what are you going to? She say, you have to do this and this when you're older. Be careful. And I would say, I'll do whatever I want. And then she said, oh yeah, well, what are you going to do when you're pregnant? If you accidentally get pregnant, she said to me. I said, well, I'll just have an abortion. I was like this teen. I'd never had even a boyfriend by that point, but. As if I'll just have an abortion. What's the big deal? As if, and she made me realize, yes, abortion is your choice. It's a something that needs to be legal. However, that is a child. I mean, that's how I was. So yes, unfortunately, when you're forced to choose between you and your child, yes, most likely you choose yourself. But please, let's not forget that a child is dying, So, she made me more moderate about abortion. She didn't say it's wrong, and so that, I guess that's the only message I'm trying when I argue abortion. I try to argue a little bit that people will be less, just kill, it's just a clump of cells, whatever. There are ways to, anyway, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is sometimes you argue and you learn things that way. And also, other topics. I always go back to abortion because it's something I'm very, I have close connections with, not personally. I've never, unfortunately, maybe say I've never been pregnant, or fortunately, whatever. I've never accidentally been pregnant, and I've never tried to get pregnant. But, I have been in situations where abortion was an issue, and I've seen things that don't necessarily, just get rid of the baby. It's so that's my thing, yes, it is the woman's choice. I'm pro-choice. When push comes to shove, pro-choice, yes, but not just pro-choice. Just, it's an easy decision, and just get an abortion if you want one. But yeah, I've thought about it, and I've gone over like the other way, and then find, I'm in the middle, but I lean. Unfortunately, I like to, because I'd like to not, but yeah, you have. The woman has, but like, because you there are those situations you can't. Woman has to decide for herself, but you can, being put in that position is my point. Yes, sometimes it gets to that point where, okay, but people are taking it too lightly. A lot of women encourage you to get an abortion. Oh, you're going to ruin your life. Yeah, well, you should have thought about that. You could have avoided, and you don't ruin your life. Your life changes. You don't ruin your life from having a baby. If you really believe that, you give her for adoption. But anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't I don't want to talk these kind of things. I'm looking for a mansion to move to. That'll solve all my concerns and my problems. Okay, here's a nice room. And you know what? I believe most people think like that. Most people agree that we should be careful, avoid getting pregnant accidentally, avoid by preventing conception. Uh, Rather than, and you can be against, like some religions, Catholics are against contraception too. They're against any form of contraception. It has to be all natural. That's extreme, and that's their belief. Okay, that obviously we're not going to outlaw condoms, no matter what the Catholics say. And we could help make it easier for everyone, including your child, to prevent conception. And you don't have to have that concern that you might have killed a baby if you don't believe it's a baby, but you know it I tend to call it a she. I'm always imagining a child who's a female being aborted. I don't It shouldn't be worse. I guess because I'm a woman, I imagine a female baby being aborted. Whenever I see an abortion, I see the most helpless, weakest, our newborns, of course, but or babies, but little girls are okay. That's my belief. They're sacred. A little girl, uh, not that any baby deserves that, but you imagine the woman she could become. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're not going to come to a resolution ever on that topic, because there will always be people for and people against. And but I believe it has to be said, and then everyone's going to do what they're going to do. But we can't just keep saying that it's a clump of cells, because more and more science is showing us that they're sentient, that they have a crying reflex at as early as 20 or 21 weeks. They can survive out the womb at 22 weeks. They're having, not saying they survive easily. They got to have the, assistance with the, but they survive outside the womb. So you're going to tell me that baby in the incubator that is alive is a clump of cells that has fingers and toes, and so she's human because now she's outside, but inside at that same exact age she's not? She is a human being from, all right, some will disagree there, for me, the moment of conception. But okay, if you don't want to believe that, but please, at some point you have to recognize this child is no longer a clump of cells. Very early on, they have the little shape, they have the crying reflex, the heartbeat, of course. It's just avoid having to make that decision. Use contraception. I would prefer non-abortive techniques, but okay, at least you can say, well, the IUD, for example, which is basically a mini abortion. The egg forms, and very soon after is unable to implant itself, and the child, okay, or the embryo, if you want to call it, dies. But so early on, okay, it's still a human being in my opinion, but okay, what can you do? It's not really, probably, I'm going to hope, probably it doesn't feel anything. It doesn't feel scared, because a baby at 20 some weeks is scared. Something's happening, something being pulling me. What is this thing pulling me? It's trying to cry, but it doesn't have the lung strength to cry, but it's trying to cry. And just because you don't hear her doesn't mean she's not screaming. What little lungs she has, screaming out, it's just a silent. There's a movie actually called that, but it's exactly what it is. It's a silent scream. She's screaming for her mother, for someone, help me. That's what the scream of a child is. It's screaming for help. And mother does nothing. The mother is either asleep. I don't know how abortions work. I've read about it, but someone went and filmed one once. They are, and they deserve a decent burial. They don't deserve to be tossed away. Why are we talking about this? I'm sorry. Let me look at the chat. Okay. Oh, gum snap. I'm not gonna gum. I'm not gonna gum stop during an abortion talk, but okay, I will. Why are you embarrassed? No, I shouldn't be, but I'm not embarrassed by the ASMR. But I know that some people do consider, and I have seen some ASMRs that are a little bit leaning. I don't want to say sexual because it's not, but it depends. It depends. I have seen others that are, this tingly feeling. I don't know. Some might take it in a sexual way. I don't believe that it is. It shouldn't be. There may be some people who take it that way. But so, the snapping of the gum, I don't know. There's something there. I guess. And I don't feel those tingles that everybody talks about. I did the videos because well, if some people like it, I'll do it. But okay, if more people want gum snapping, otherwise maybe I'll do a gum snapping like on another one. Oh wait, I gotta find my channel. I gotta find my mansion. All right, here's a nice. I've been blabbing the whole time. I haven't found my mansion. Oh, I'm gonna share my screen. That's right. I can share my screen with this. Let's see. How do I do it? How do I share the screen? Present, share screen, screen sharing. Some screens let you share audio. All right. Colorado mansions. Okay, I'm going to show that. I'm trying to find a Colorado mansion uh, to put as my backdrop, but inside the mansion. Okay, for so $75 million with its own bowling alley. I wonder if I could see the inside though. Let's see. That's the outside. Wait, that's not it anymore. Wait, is that it? Oh, look at that one. No, but see, they're different mansions. They're not. That's a Colorado mansion. Wow, look at that one. But I can't see the insides. I want it like a real estate site. Okay, real estate Colorado. Here's a normal house, 400 something. Oh, here's a cute little one. Let's try this. Let's see what's in this little house. It's not a mansion, but it's actually kind of cute. Do we have any pictures here? No, there's no pictures. It's just this. Wait, let's see. Let's see. There we go. I think we're going to get some pictures now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, look at the inside, though. It can be a really cute house. Yeah, it needs a lot of work, but not a bad price. There are places where I probably could afford a house if but it's not necessarily a place where I want to live. But heck, I could probably get a little job and get a mortgage on a house like this. It's not a bad place. I could see it being really cute, fixed up. It would need some work there, but yeah, yeah, I would live there or in a house like that. I would rip out that carpet. Oh, look, some teen probably lived up there. Anyway, 35. All right, yeah, this one's a little dingy for me. I'm going to find a regular house. That's going to be my house, but it's not going to be that one. That's a little too dingy. I want to find like a. Maybe I could use this one. Why not? I'm going to use this humble little home today. We're going to pretend that we had to usurp this little house because we're homeless and we found this house and we could. Oh, there's a garage. Look, it's got two-door garage. Hey, I would buy that house. I mean, it's got a lot of junk and stuff, but young. Now, give me stuff. Look at that thing. Sometimes houses, they get the house with everything included inside because maybe it was you know. Yeah, I don't want. Well, those old tires, I could put up a tire swing. And that's my backyard. and be friends with the neighbors. Just a simple little life. Sometimes I think to myself, I could just get some little house in a small town, and maybe life is easier in some of these places, and things aren't as expensive. And I mean, obviously, I'll have to work or get some sort of income, but a nice porch. I could see wintertime hanging out there all fixed up. An enclosed porch. Oh, that's really cute. I really think it's a cute house that needs a lot of work, but it's the kind of house that when you fix it up, like that ceiling is, you know. When I was a little kid, we had a ceiling like that. I mean, it's, in an inexpensive ceiling, but it's a useful ceiling because you don't have to break the drywall. Like when you got to fix the stuff up there, you just push in one of the tiles. Like if you have to fix electricity or something. Whereas if you have the other kind of ceiling, you got to break the drywall, and it looks fancier maybe, but all right. I don't think I'm going to buy this house in my mind, let's see what other houses we can look at. Here's one of the condos. An open kitchen. The open kitchens are nice. It makes the place look bigger. I went on a ski trip in high school once. Oh, isn't that a cute little room? A mountain room. And it reminds me of this. We all, they were condos, but they rented it out to all of us. And they had like 6 rooms in every condo. And we all just, 6 kids in each room. A washer and dryer. Oh, let me check the chat. Is anyone talking or y'all just listening to me? Oh, here. Hey, Coaster Corner. How am I doing? Oh, pretty good. I got fired yesterday from my job. So I was working as a bookkeeper. So I was sulking a little bit today. I'm not that depressed, but I was like, oh. So I've been laying around today, kind of doing whatever and being a little bit sulky and in a bad mood. But, I said, why don't I go online and chit chat about nothing? But if people want me to gum snap, I got one gum snap request. I just think that maybe I should do that on the other channel, the gum snapping. I'm not sure people are over here for the gum snapping. But I could chew gum, but I don't know. If more people say yes, 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 do it. But I think I shouldn't do it on this channel because I think people are here more for me just when I blab and I can't stop talking. So I'm in one of those. What's this? Some kind of locker room. Oh, so what I'm doing, this must be the building. Okay, the building has all this stuff. Oh, a jacuzzi. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a nice house to put as my background because as you see here, behind me I have this mansion. Let me unshare the screen. There. See how that's a fake. That's not my real house. See how my hand disappears? It's just a picture of a mansion. So I was going to pretend like I'm by the pool. Is this dirty? So now I want to find another house, to show. To anyway, so I don't think I want a Colorado house. I'm going to look. Where should I find? Where should I find a mansion? What part of the world? It could be anywhere. A Japanese mansion. Because I have a friend in Japan. Mansion in Japan. Mansion in Japan. Just some far off place. Japan luxury real estate listings. Oh, wow. I'll share the screen if I need to. Let's see if I see undisclosed address. What's this one? This is in Katsura. I'll show you in a minute. I want to see if it's Sotheby's. Okay, this is out like on some sort of mountain by the ocean. Oh, wow. It's very but I don't see a bedroom or anything. Yeah, I think the Japanese are very minimal. I'll show you. I'll share the screen. I don't think it has a bedroom. I don't know. Japan. My Robert. I guess I'm gonna call him my boyfriend. It's just easier. I guess he's kind of my boyfriend. The guy in there. Um, share screen. He married a Japanese woman when he was married, and he's been to Japan. And he says, yeah, it's like the house is. Is it sharing? Yeah, there it is. Um, the houses don't really have a bedroom. You just kind of, or at least you see, like that's the dining room. Can I make it bigger? I don't know if I can make it. Let me see. Control plus. No, it's actually getting smaller. Why is it getting smaller? Oh, now, no, it's not working. Okay, I don't know. This looks like it's a dining room. It's like where they eat. Can I make this bigger though? Wait, Control plus. Oh, it is. See, oh, now I'm in a little bit too big. But see here, there's a table there, and then they sit on the floor, and there's no. I don't see any bedroom. I don't know if they have furniture in a lot of. Let's look at some other Japanese places. They have a lot of like minimalist decor. So this is a mansion somewhere in Japan, undisclosed address. By the ocean, I guess this is grass on the roof. You know, it's not very. I don't think I would want to live there. I wouldn't mind maybe. It seems very cold for my taste, but I could see. I like the minimalist cleanness of it though. But it seems very cold, and it could be that it's just doesn't have furniture in there. Could that be? That must be it. It's on some kind of mountainside. Styly. I like that. But see how pretty this is very warm. This thing hanging there. Anyway, let's look at another Japanese mansion. Where was I? Luxury homes for sale. Okay, here's some with actual furniture. Maybe the thing is that one didn't have furniture. $4,200,000. Okay. I thought that was a cow. I thought that was cow skin before. Oh, this all my. Accept. All right. Can I make it big? This is a warm. I would call this warm. It's a warm house. I mean, it's missing my personal touch, but it's very pretty and yeah, very clean lines. This is the style. This is how houses are. Yeah, that's warm, but it's very. It's nice. It's a $4 million something dollar house. I could see how it would be very cozy in wintertime with the snow out there, and if the house is nice and warm. The pavilion residences. Oh, it's an actual. The bathroom is interesting. It's a little small. I like big bathrooms. This bathroom looks too small. I like bathrooms to be huge. I like big kitchens and big bathrooms. And not such, it doesn't have to be such a big restaurant. Big, maybe a big living room. I mean, spacious. Doesn't have to be big, but spacious. And this bathroom does not look very spacious. It looks like a skinny little hallway here and a bathtub and, shower, bath, whatever. Oh, look at that one. This one. That one is 1 million something. That's by the water. Okay, it's a beach house. Can't see the inside of it. Yeah. Okay. I like it. It just feels a little bit cold. It's not inviting to me, but I guess it is inviting to some. It just looks very luxurious and clean. That's one thing I like. It's very clean, and even the clean lines are refreshing. natural wood. But no, I don't think I would want to live in this style. I would maybe want something. Of course, we got to remember they have it set up like a showroom. I'm sure living there, it gets warmer with the human, the humanness makes it warmer. Right now, we just see a very, sterile environment. So it could be that. But no, I don't think I want a mansion in Japan. Let's look elsewhere. But it's pretty. It's very pretty. But it's like a museum. I would feel like I was living in a museum almost. Just really pretty, but kind of cold for my taste. Even this to me looks like a commercial place, like the waiting room in a beauty salon. As beautiful as it is, it looks like a museum. Here, I like that. I like the rock wall. And there's no cement in there. It appears to be just rocks put together like a puzzle. Maybe there is cement, but it's not visible. A little car, a chandelier. Okay, Buffalo Estate. If he's here, he's one of the people that watches me sometimes. He's a architect. No, where else should I look? Let me look at the chat. Where should I find a mansion to use as my background? Hello, Josh. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Did I respond? I think I responded. Um, let's look somewhere else then. Luxury home, mansion. Look at this. AI just pops up. I don't even want it to. Hey, is my stream showing? Did I take it out? Present. I didn't show you guys my stream. I thought you guys were looking at my screen. Share screen. Oh, because I closed it maybe? New tab. Shouldn't thinking they were trans. Yeah, there's this thing about detransitioners now coming out. I don't know. We'll have to see. To be continued on that. Let's see. Mansions in. I don't like Italy, but I want to find some exotic place. Let's see. Somewhere warm, but not Mexico. Somewhere warm. Tahiti. Mansions in Tahiti. Luxury vacation rentals. Oh, this is Verbo. Oh, I have to pretend I'm actually traveling. Can I just see them without looking? Oh, I can. Okay. No, I have to go to a real estate. Okay, here we go. Tahiti Village Resort in Las Vegas. What's it doing in Las Vegas? I want to be in Tahiti. Wait, what did they in Tahiti? All right, let's just do Las Vegas. What's it? Sleeps 8. It's a big apartment that sleeps 8. I should get my real estate license again. Look at that. Oh, 1,000 a night. Not a. I was thinking that was a month. I was like, heck, it's 1,000 a night. But if you divide that by 8, it's not much at all. If you get it, go with 7 friends. Mm-hmm. It would be how much per person? I should know this. Well, if you go with 10 friends, it'll be $100 a person. So 8 friends, it'll be less than 200 a person per night. Which, okay, that's not cheap, but get 10 friends, squeeze a few more friends in, $100 a night. And it comes with everything. It comes with the kitchen and no pets allowed. Oh, I am not going. I got to go to a real estate site, though, because I don't want to go to Tahiti. Where else should I look? Mansions in. See, I always end up in South Florida because they're the prettiest mansions that I like are down here. Mansions in Palm Beach. I once found such a beautiful home and I used it as a background, but I can't find it now. I want an actual big, fancy. Oh, 135 million. All right, let's try this. There's my backyard. That's cute. See, I find that warm. The ones in Japan were cold, as beautiful as they were. They're not inviting and warm to me. Now, of course, everyone has their own opinion, but this is inviting. It's the wood. I don't know. It's cutesier, maybe. The French doors. I guess that's the style I like. Hey, where's my mansion? Oh, there it is. Oh, no, I can't. There's a dead zebra on it. Oh, look at the dead cow. I can't. As much as I do eat meat again, but I can't have furs. Hey, that's my mansion that I'm in right now. Wait a minute. That's my house. I must have pulled it from, look. Remove. That's my house. The same one we just saw. Somebody has my house. Let me put it back. Let me see. Is that it? Where'd it go? This one. Mansions in Palm Beach. All right. Well, I guess this is where I'm going to be living. There's my mansion. I wanted a better one. I'm back to square one. There, see? There's my house. Here. It's the same one, isn't it? Here. And here. Here. It's a little different. Wait. Oh, no, hang on a second. Let me see. Here. It's the same, except look. Here you see this tree. And maybe this is a picture on a different day. Because over here. Oh, I see. It's just because it's cut off at the top. Yeah, but it is the same one. I'm moving so you guys can see it. Okay. All right. I guess I'll stick to this one. Right. Actually, when I uploaded it, I cut it, cut the top off. So, all right. All right. Thank you guys for house hunting with me. 2 people watching. Oh, thank you, 2 people. I think I had 6 or 7. I must have bored them and they left. All right. Well, I guess I'll chew some gum then, and I'll talk to you, Desmond, and I think maybe it's Coaster. If you're still here, Desmond, it says only 2 people are watching. Maybe there's more, but whoever's here, please say aye. And if it's you, Desmond, and one other person, maybe I'll do a little gum snap. Let me get all the gum. This. All the gums from yesterday. Man, I spent so much money on gum yesterday. For what? I didn't make any money on that video. I'll check. Maybe I made some money today. Yeah, no, I can't make money on. You know why I can't make money on ASMR? Because I don't have the desire to care about making it good. I just want to snap the gum, and if you like it, I'll get money for it, or but you have to want to make a good ASMR video. Otherwise, they don't come out good. So I think the one that snapped the best yesterday was this watermelon one. For those of you who were not here, I went out and bought all this gum. It cost a lot of money after all. The same day I was fired. Not smart. See, this is bad investment. I invested in tons of gum. I didn't even get it on sale. It was like that is illogical. I just lost my job. Why am I buying $50 worth of gum? You see how my mind works? I'm so stupid. And yeah, maybe in the back of my mind, oh, I'll do ASMR video with chewing gum, but I'm ridiculous. I'm not gonna make enough money to justify all this gum. All right. Oh, my friend's writing. Actually, a friend of mine invited me over for gnocchis. Hmm. This is sour too. I may go over there later. Eat the gnocchis. Let's see. I'll answer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to snap. So Noah's going to. Oh, I have a mystery viewer. One person. Mystery viewer, do you like chewing gum? All right. I'll chew gum for a bit, but if nobody's talking to me, I'll probably end up hanging up soon. But I really appreciate you guys. Don't feel that I don't appreciate you. Whoever's watching, whether it's one person or 10. I usually get 10 or less, but I figure if you're weird enough to sit here watching me, you won't judge me. Let's see. He's asking why I'm just sitting around. I didn't tell him what I'm doing. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm watching videos." Okay, I lied a little bit. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm doing." He's just a friend. There's no romance or anything. But so I'll probably go have gnocchis, tell him about all my misery. Oh, I got fired, even though I'm not depressed about it, but obviously I'm not feeling that great about it. What bothers me is I don't have an income. I like having a steady income. Yeah, but he's a friend. I talk to him. And we used to, I'll be honest, he's one of my first, many, many, many years ago, like 2013. He was one of my eHarmony people that I met on eHarmony. Went on a couple of dates. Yeah, you're a nice guy. I'm a nice lady, but whatever. Nothing became of it really. But every once in a while, we chit chat, like texting, or occasionally we've gone to lunch over the years. Not often, not very often. And I even told him when I went even though I say, oh, online dating is terrible, you don't meet anybody. I have to admit, I've met some people that were nice, that we just were kind of friendly. I wouldn't say we're friends. But him, it's been so many years that we will occasionally say, hi, what are you doing? I would consider him a friend at this point. But like I said, we've occasionally gone to lunch over the years. Or when I moved to DC for a few years, I let him, oh, I'm moving up to DC. I met a nice, I'm back together with a nice guy. It was an ex-boyfriend. And even when I was up there, once in a while, hey, how are things going? Great. How are you? I don't know. It's a nice little. So I guess it is still possible to meet nice people on there as friends, but ordinarily that's not the case. The men I've met on there have not wanted to continue a friendship. It's either we hook up or not. And if I didn't hook up with them, it was just like whatever. But he was a little different. I mean, I will admit I was kind of hot for him in the beginning. I really wanted something to happen with him. But, whatever, didn't. And I'm fine. But he has been a kind of a friend. Like when I've been a little sad, and occasionally I will reach out to him. Usually him reaching to me, like I said, like every maybe twice a year. Let's say we'll see each other, like either lunch or that's basically it. Lunch. One time at around Christmas time, a few years ago, we went to dinner. That was really nice. But I guess he dates other people. I don't know. He must. He's not dating me. So, but anyway, so maybe I'll see him. And I like gnocchis. That's potato, kind of like a potato pasta. If you've ever tried them. Okay. Well, I hope Desmond didn't get offended before. If that's you, Desmond, there, that I didn't want to snap gum, but I'll do a little bit now, and then I'll probably hang up. Because to be honest, I'll just be blabbing. And if you guys don't feel like chit chatting or asking questions, I don't know what else can I talk about. I don't want to get too. I'm talking about myself. I mean, how much more can I? But I will set up interviews. Anyone who wants to come on and we have like a little conversation, feel free to ask. I might say no if I don't know your screen name. Like some of you, I recognize your screen name from over the years, so that I probably will. But if some of you, I don't recognize your screen name, the Coaster Corner, I think I recognize you, but you had another name. If maybe you're Toaster Train, I don't know if that's you. Because Coaster Corner kind of sounds like it. And I think maybe you told me once that you were the other guy. I don't remember. So if that's you, I recognize you. Poetic YY. I never knew how to pronounce that, but of course I know you. Desmond, I know you. So I don't know who's here right now. Who else came today? Andrea Farrell obviously has watched me before because she says, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I probably do know you, but I may not remember, or maybe you've used another name I don't recognize. Whitetail, I don't recognize the name. Now, don't be offended, because it may be that I know you, but I don't recognize the name. But maybe you've been on before. But there are people who talk more. Aqua ASMR. That's it today. Aqua ASMR. I'm going to go to your channel. Oops. It won't let me go over there. Wait a minute. Hey, how do I get to it? Show. Oh, okay. Oh, hello, Desmond. Oh, I'll do a little gum snapping then, since you wanted me to. Yeah, and tomorrow I'm not going to argue with anyone. Tomorrow. I don't promise the next day. But I particularly am interested in, I call it arguing. It's discussing. Because young people, like I said, they're very proud sometimes, and you can't tell them anything, and they know everything. And sometimes a little bit of a discussion with an adult, they learn. I actually learned that on the Cosby Show, believe it or not. That was one of the techniques a parent has to teach the child is, in fact, to some extent, arguing about, views, and, not necessarily about maybe other things, but. And on this other show, A Different World, was what's the name of that beautiful woman? Bonet. Lisa Bonet was the star of that show. It was a spin-off of the Cosby Show. I mean, that was a really strong point of reference for me. So they're not going to tell me, oh, Cosby. Sure, Bill Cosby, again, I always bring that up. But my point is, the arguing, disputing, you would see how his kids, okay, of course, it was a fictional show. It was, a TV family, scripted and all, but you would see how the kids would learn from discussing with the father. The kids would be a little bit, stand up. They were teens, and they would confront the father. Well, I'm going to do this, and I'm grown up and whatever. You saw it more with the son and the older daughter, not so much with the younger kids. But where it's natural for a teen to start standing up and demanding autonomy. But and a parent, of course, wants them to. But at the same time, he would kind of the way he discussed and all. I thought it was a very healthy role model for a lot of families of all races. Um, and it's a pity what happened, or what we later found out. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but other and I'm not trying to justify it, but other actors at the time did the same thing. Other powerful men at the time, it was kind of known that they did that. I'm not saying it's right, but they're after him and they're not after some of the other people who did that. And some of them have actually passed away who did those things. And I mean, if it's accepted in society, you don't punish one person who did it. You call everyone out on it. And frankly, what he did wasn't as bad as what some of the others did. That the was unwritten, unspoken rules of Hollywood. And I don't want to get into it, but it just makes me a little angry. And his work is a genius. It's a work of genius, and I will continue encouraging people to watch the Cosby Show. You can see it not on YouTube, actually on Facebook. There's an African wedding planner. It's interesting. He's a I don't know if it's Nigeria, somewhere in Africa, on Facebook. They have a wedding planning business, and they show full episodes of the Cosby Show on there, which I thought, wow, okay, that's great. I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering if they can get sued for that by someone. I don't know. I don't think anyone's getting residuals off of it, because theoretically the actors are supposed to get residuals payments if the shows keep showing. So I don't know if he has some kind of deal, if he's just kind of showing bootleg uh, videos of it. But you can watch it on there. Let me see if I might follow that person because of the Cosby. And then so he gets people to go to his page, and if they watch the Cosby Show, but they also probably end up using his wedding planning business. And I'm thinking maybe he puts. Now it just occurred to me. Maybe he puts copies of the Cosby Show on his wedding planning business to show what a wonderful thing it is to have a family and be married and all that. And since Nigeria is African, it's a black country, they identify with the characters. It just occurred to me right now, maybe it was sort of a marketing trick he's using. Let's see. Facebook.com. I'll put the link if I find it. Because it popped up on my screen one day and I started watching, but then I think I did follow the guy. Let's see. Who do I follow? Maybe something like pages I follow. Oh, I don't. Oh, I'm following a lot of these games that I don't even play anymore. No, it's not there. Groups. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's here. Something like wedding. Let me see if I put it. Wedding. Oh, it's starting to get cold. I might. Something like wedding planner. Wedding planner, something like that. Maybe Nigerian wedding planner. Nigerian wedding. Let me just go Nigerian wedding. I think it was Nigeria. It's not that one. What if I just put in full episodes of Cosby? Full episodes of Cosby Show. The Big Stepper. Okay, well, actually, if you type in full episodes of Cosby Show, oh, look at that. You can see them on Facebook. It's the full episode. It's like 22. I'm looking something else now. Well, I'm not finding that wedding planner one, but you can watch them on a place called The Big Stepper. Let's see, The Big Stepper. It's no, it's just got one episode of the Cosby. Let's see, Tracy Morgan. Yeah, no, it doesn't have all this episodes. The wedding one. Yeah, it's got a. No, it's not that. Okay, yeah, you can see a few of them. Yeah, I guess you can see them on this one. It's called The Big Stepper. Posted a video playlist, The Cosby Show, and season 5, episode 11. Let's see how many seasons it's got. Wow, oh, they are on there. Okay, great. So you can still see episodes. He was canceled. The only thing is, I think these actors are not getting the residuals, but maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to them, of course, but for the better good, the episodes are still out there. So watch the show. And if you have children, let them watch the show. You don't have to tell them what Mr. Cosby has been accused or guilty of or whatever. You don't have to add. Don't tell them. After all, it's way before their time. And watch that show. Watch the show. It's an excellent show. Here we have season 6 and season 5. It would be good if you saw it from season 1, though. And they touch upon a lot of issues. They touch upon racism. They touch upon Black history. He's always like, every episode you'll learn something about Black history, like some poet they'll mention, or what languages are spoken in who knows what country. I don't remember now, but every episode you'll learn something about Black history, or the African American culture in particular. And it's a work of genius, I'm telling you. And it's a part of me thinks, yes, all right, he did what he did wrong, but they called him out on purpose because he was showing a different side and a different view than what the narratives have been lately. Black love, he wasn't saying that Black people are better and that we shouldn't mix with white. They would show interracial couples also. And they also showed a very happy, professional Black couple. The woman was an attorney. The father was a doctor. They had the kids, and they, the problems with kids being rebellious, the issue, everything. I mean, just a real show, just fascinating. But yeah, unfortunately, this one, The Big Stepper, is only showing season 6, and that's okay. But I encourage you to see from the very beginning, the season 1, where they're all little, the kids are all little. They have the teenage kids that are young teens, and then the little baby, and it was such a wonderful time. And every day, like, we'd be in school, Cosby's, everybody, even the white kids, the Black kids, all the kids. Oh, Cosby's on tonight. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. And then the next day we'd get to school and talk about, oh my God, can you believe so-and-so did this? I mean, it was just, America just loved the show. It brought such, understanding between the races and pride, because racism will always exist. But the Black kids had pride. They said, okay, yeah, there is racism. Oh, well, too bad. That's unfortunate. We got to, of course, fight against it. But, I'm not saying you just get over it, because it's not easy if you've been. But I wish I could find that Nigerian wedding planner, though. I can't. Let me see. Anyway, Google it on Facebook if you can't find it elsewhere. But there's a few episodes there. But wedding planner, do I follow him? The Big Stepper. It's all on The Big Stepper. No, but I saw 9 posts a week. The Cosby Show sitcom returning to TV after being dropped by Hulu. The Cosby Show fans. You know what? I'm going to join one of these. And I hope all my friends see it. Let's see which one is the best one. Oh, yeah, no, you'll see episodes of it on Facebook. Okay. Well, kudos to Facebook then. Kudos that at least they're not canceling people who show the episodes. And then Sanford and Son. That was just funny. I mean, it did touch upon African American culture, but that was more just funny. Oh, that's just funny. A different socioeconomic level. He was a garbage. He ran a junkyard, like a thrift yard, and the son was like educated, but the father was just kind of the working class guy. Owned the junkyard, and he would do funny things, and the son would always be, he was the straight guy, and he was educated and would be scolding the father for, dad, pop, why'd you do this or whatever. That was a great show. And that actor, the one who played Lamont, is still married to the same woman he was married to he's old now, and Red Fox passed away. He's still married to the same woman that he was married to way back, which is nice. Anyway, I can't find the wedding planner. The only thing I can think is maybe I follow them, like maybe, but I'll look at some other time. Oh, I'm not snapping the gum. I'm sorry. Hello, Buffalo Estate. You know what I was doing if you only just arrived? I was looking at architecture around the world because I'm trying to find a mansion to move into. See, this is my mansion. I'm in my backyard. I'm lying. So I was trying to find a different mansion that I maybe would be inside, like on a beautiful. I had a nice one once I had another computer, but I don't know where that picture is. But I was just going on different real estate websites and looking at different mansions. We went to Japan. I guess you could see the rerun of this. It was a short part of I've been doing a variety of things, just blabbing. Frasier. Oh, I love Frasier. Frasier's a good show too. Mm-hmm. The sock. Oh, Meg Rapinoe. I don't like her. For a few reasons. One is kneeling for the American flag. Okay. I don't agree with it. I think you stand for the American flag and you touch your heart but okay, we've had some issues in the U.S. and she kneeled for it, and Colin Kaepernick kneels for. Okay, I can say, okay, they're kneeling. They're not turning their back on it. They're not, disrespecting it. They're kneeling. But okay, but that's an internal thing within Americans. We have to work it out with each other. She takes this thing to the world. No, I'm sorry. You don't love America when you do that. When you have disagreements with your family, let's say, you keep those disagreements at home and you work it out at home. But you don't take this to the Olympics or to some wherever they were now, the World Cup. And she ended up losing anyway. They lost. Well, that's one reason. And just her attitude. She thinks she's so important, with her stupid purple hair. And but it started with that, not this year. She did it again now because it's really stupid. But she did it before, in the Olympics. You don't take your stuff. Number one. Number two, she has some views on, I disagree also. And I may be changing my mind the more I meet people and talk with other people about it. I'm going to interview a young man, actually, who had become trans. He's a man, born a man. He had become a woman for a while. He hadn't done the operations, but he had lived as a woman for a while. Realized it wasn't for him. All as an adult, that's fine, Realized it wasn't what he wanted, and he decided to. Now he's a man again. And I'm going to interview him, because I do want to see, opinions, but I want opinions that are different from. I don't believe that a man athlete should be playing in women's sports when he has transitioned as a grown man. He's been an athlete as a man for years and years. And now he has realized, let's say, if he's really being honest, that he is a woman, because they're winning all these women's sports. It's not fair. Women have fought too hard to get to higher levels in sports and in other things, to be competing against men again. And she is pushing that you're transphobic if you do that and all that. I believe trans people have a right to have work and to, but we've got to put some limits on this, because while there are truly transgender people, transgender women, I'm just, that's the second thing, but I'm not as angry about that. Sports is not something I'm that into, but and I'm not the only one. Other lesbians agree with me as well, by the way. I'm not doing it because, and that's the thing. So Facebook, I don't know if she reported me, but somehow Facebook, oh, you're being hate speech. No, I'm not. Yes, she's a stupid bee, like I said she is, but it's not because of her sexuality. She's a stupid bee because she's a stupid bee. And sometimes you can be that and also happen to be a lesbian, but it's not because she's a lesbian, So it made me mad because she kept getting me blocked, or whoever was blocking me, maybe people reporting me. And again, saying things about me that aren't true. Am I not allowed to dislike a lesbian woman because she's a jerk? She may also happen to be a lesbian, which in this case she is. But if she were a straight woman, I still would think she's a jerk because of the way she behaves abroad and embarrassing and showing disrespect for our country. I get so angry, I scream at you as if you're her. I'm sorry. So I got blocked again for days because of her, because I pointed out that she was wrong and I said something on her page. And she probably reported me, but maybe she didn't. But I don't think I should be blocked at all. So now I can't post on I can still post on Facebook. And Facebook has gotten better. They've gotten better. They used to block you for anything you said. I mean, I would say anything and I'd get blocked. So that's another reason people have to say what they think, because then social media, the algorithms, not even real people, decide, oh, this is hate speech. And it's not many times. And then people are more afraid to talk, more afraid to say anything, more afraid to give their opinion. And then we get completely bowled over. You say one little thing and you get canceled. I don't know. The U.S. used to be so different. Of course, it was before the internet. But, you could go out, you could protest burning bras, for example. That's not illegal. It's stupid, but okay, that's freedom of speech when the women would go out there burning their bras, the feminists. And, it's something and even now, the women who went out now embarrassingly, oh, God, they're so dumb. I mean, burning a bra is sexy. Dressing up like a vagina like these new feminists do, that's not sexy. You're not going to get a man to convert to help. Men don't care. Men are going to do what the pretty women do. If the pretty women want women's rights, they'll give it to them. You don't dress up as a vagina and think some man who maybe is in the middle of the road is going to support you now. Oh, yeah. They got to come up with a new marketing plan. Protesting is also marketing. Protesting has to sell. You're not going to sell to people by destroying their small businesses or by dressing up like a vagina. I don't know. These latest crop of feminists they're just full of crap. I mean, even us older people, I'm a feminist, if you will, maybe not a hardcore, because I'm not going to go out there just like a vagina. I think I can get my point across that women are just as intelligent as men without going out there. Ugh. And they don't even remember why they dressed as a vagina. They don't even remember the reason they did it. Like burning a bra makes sense. Okay, burn a bra. We will no longer be restrained. There's a message there. We don't have to fit to society's standards by forcing us to wear a bra. I suggest you wear a bra because you sag early if you don't. But okay, let's say you understood the message there, the binding of society, but what message do you send dressing up like a vagina? You'd send the message that you're a CUN. That's the only message I got from it. Who the hell remembers why they were dressed that way? Don't touch my, you know what, I think was one of the things. Okay, oh yeah, because of grab my, I remember now, because grab my, if anything, dressing up like that is encouraging you. Look, I'm dressed like this. Now come grab me. Now, the message was supposed to be the opposite, but the only message we got from it was you dressed like a dumb idiot. And all it looks like is that you wish he would have grabbed yours, because look at you, showing it even bigger. Jealous. I saw jealous women who wished he would have grabbed theirs. I'm not saying that's what they meant to send, the message, but that's the message I got from it. If you don't want him to grab that, then don't be. And I don't think you have to worry much. Some of those women were so fat and ugly. And being fat, there's nothing wrong with that. But generally, the majority of men are going to be looking for women or attracted to women that are height, weight, proportionate, with some exceptions. Some men are very attracted to heavier women, and great. That's no problem there. But the majority of men are going to be attracted to height, weight, proportionate. You don't even have to be thin. But good Lord, some of those women, and they looked like they dressed like the vaginas just to cover up how fat they were. And they be huffing and puffing because they're trying to protest and scream, and they're running out of breath. Goodness, the girls in the 60s, they were fit. You got to be fit to protest. Those were protests. Lord. Yeah, and it's different if you, and that's another issue, which I'll go softer on because they're children, and a poor little child who was born in the wrong body, and it does happen, and I understand why some would want to transition them before puberty, because especially in the case of a what do you call it, a boy, a little boy who is a girl inside. I truly believe. Some say, oh no, he just thinks he's a girl, but he's not. I truly believe that the soul of a woman, or the whatever you want to call it, I'll call it a soul, whatever the person inside is a woman. I truly believe that little boy that was born, Jazz Jennings, for example, which is the famous case of a little girl who was born in the body of a boy, and she transitioned before puberty, went on the puberty blockers. So I understand why they would do that, because if you're a boy, you start to develop into a man, whether you want to or not. And if you're a biological boy, and if you're a woman, I mean, I can imagine how horrible that is, going through that, growing a beard and all that when that's not who you are. But I can't believe that there are that many children that are going through that. And there are a lot of people now detransitioning. So my point was going to be that if you transitioned before puberty, where you didn't develop with all that testosterone to make you stronger, okay, maybe you could play women's sports in that case. But that's the other side of it. What if you transition before puberty? You're not old enough to understand. There are some adults that misunderstand. There are some misdiagnoses now we're finding out, where little children are now grown up and they realize, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I didn't know any better. I thought I wanted to be a girl, but it turned out I was just a gay man, for example. But they didn't know. The only way they knew how to express was that they thought they were a girl because they liked girl things. But a lot of gay men are like that when they're young, but they still are men, and they don't have any, accepting of gayness obviously would help, But now it seems like parents are rushing to the puberty blockers all the time, and they are not reversible. That's been the misconception. They're not reversible. If you transition a child before puberty, he's going to stay short. If he's a boy body that wants to be a girl, he's going to stay short, petite. He's not going to grow, develop, And then, of course, if you cut the parts off, like this young Jazz Jennings did do as well, and by all intents and purposes, it appears that in her case, all is good. She really is happy with the decision. But I also am thinking now, because she became so famous, because she's one of the very few children who have ever, now all these other kids want to be like her, and it's like it's the style now, and they're misconstruing what they're feeling, or and unfortunately, because of that, maybe some kids are transitioning now that later will regret it, and it makes it even harder now for the real transgender people. Because now people are going to say, oh no, we've learned that there are a lot of you that are mistaken. So we're going to see this coming now. We have a group of people now older deciding or realizing or whatever that that's why I want to interview this young man, Ryan. He chose to be open about it, which I truly appreciate. And I would be curious to know, what feelings did you feel when you were younger, when, things like that, because the only way we can know are the adults now who either are transgender or thought they were, and kind of, in his case, I believe, I don't know, and maybe I won't ask him that. I don't believe he went all the way to have the operations. I believe he did not, but, um, you know, but I think we need to stop with this until we know more. And yes, you also have men who have some sort of fetish with this dressing as a woman, and they're not really transgender, and they are trying to lump themselves into the real transgender, again giving the real transgenders a bad name, because I've followed some transgenders on YouTube, and I like them. They're just, normal, whatever, women. To me, I mean, I actually, one of them, I didn't even know she was transgender, and it turns out there are two that I know of now. But it was a lady who does nails, long nail, Maria Ortiz, her name is. And I started watching because I thought, oh, that's cool, the long nails. And, I watched her for like a year or two. I figured she was just, whatever, a nail woman, you know. And then I guess when it started coming out more transgender was being more, people were being more open. She at some point figured, okay, well, I'm guessing she must have said, well, I better say what I truly am, because if people find out from other sources, who knows what's going to happen. Whatever the reason, I don't know why she chose to do it, but one day she just, was doing the nails and said, oh, hi, hello everyone. I think she was still doing the nails when she said it. We could find that video. That was an interesting video. Hi, everyone. I just, thought I'd let you know, not that it makes any difference to me. I'm not ashamed of it, but I am transgender. She said, I was born a man, and I realized I'm a woman, and I have been living as a woman for X number of years, like for a long time. She's not young. And no, that's it. And I guess some people said, really? Oh, we didn't. I mean, it was taken all very naturally, as far as I remember. There were some comments underneath. I assume maybe some unfollowed her. Let's find her, Maria Ortiz. Well, Megan Rapinoe has a few things that rub me the wrong way. It's not one particular thing. She's done a few things now that I'm just sick of her. I think she's just a woman who wants to be the center of attention, and she's not. And now she's advocating for trans women in women's sports because she's retiring. Like her last game was the one she just lost. So what does she care? She doesn't have to be competing against them. She's advocating for them now that she's retired. And who knows if it's some sort of pride thing she has, because then she could say, oh, see, no one has ever beat me except transgender women. Who knows if she even wants to use that as her thing? Like, oh, well, because like she can claim she's all for it. But I don't know. I guess because she is a woman, she's a lesbian, but she is a woman. There's some things there that I recognize that women do that are very manipulative. Maria Ortiz, Maria Long Nails, Maria. I wonder if I'll find the one long nails. We'll watch that. Oh, I got a snap. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Maria Long Nails. Are you guys still seeing my screen, or have I? I think you're not. Are you guys hearing me? Have I been off this whole time? Have you guys heard anything? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Oh my lord. Ugh. Can you hear me now? Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Mute settings. Audio. Hello. Oh, you can hear me now. You guys, I have been talking for like 2 hours. How long have I been? I have been blabbing. Oh my God. You know what happened? I closed the screen. I guess I have to leave the yard stream open, the stream yard open. I closed it. Oh my goodness. I wonder how much you missed. Oh well. Anyway, I'm getting ready to go. I was just talking about. Oh, what a pity. What, I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but I will revisit the topic again. It's a topic that I talk about often. I'm just not going to start on it now. I was going to show you one of the trans women that I follow that I really like, and her channel is not about being trans. That's the thing. She happens to be a trans woman. It's about long nails. She has a. If you guys want to check her out, she's a lot of fun. Let me share my here. I'll put a link to her YouTube, but she's got a lot of different channels. But a lady that I grew to admire years ago. Oh, 10 minutes I've been blabbing about nothing. Anyway, here she is. I'll revisit it again. I was talking a little bit about the trans community and what I feel and my interests, but um, how I don't understand parts of it, and I was getting into Meg Rapinoe and why I can't stand her sometimes, and I really can't stand her. I have to be honest. I can't stand her. I don't think I'll ever like that woman, and it has nothing to do with her sexuality. But I'll save that for another because you asked me why I can't stand her. But anyway, and then I got into the topic about this trans woman that I didn't know was trans when I started following her, and nobody knew, I think. And then it just one day she just had a normal video and just matter of factly let everyone know she was trans and didn't make a big deal out of it. And that was that. And it was over. And then we continued on with her channel that had nothing to do with being trans. That was my point. She was just a normal person. But she has she has a long nails goddesses, and she does long nails. Her clients are all women with super long nails. She doesn't do. I mean, I assume she would do small nails too, but she's a specialist in long nails, and it's a whole. I don't think I'd ever get into long nails myself, but I liked watching. I thought it was cool how she would paint the nails and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, follow her if you're interested. She's kind of fun to watch. I haven't watched any of her videos in a while, but I was trying to find that particular video where she came out as trans just to show you how, people were like, oh, you are? Oh, okay. What kind of nails you're going to do today? It was like, so I really liked it. And I hope someday we do get to that point where it's not a big deal. And, both sides have to come to some sort of agreement as far as, the trans community, the lesbians, the straight community. We got to find some middle ground here, because you even have some lesbians who are against the trans women. And I understand both sides, but I'm against some of the lesbian women and not the trans women in other situations. The TERFs, I think, are a little bit overboard, and because yes, they're not necessarily the same situation, but they have overlapping situations that they're going to have to recognize, and we're going to have to accept that trans women are women with differences from us because they weren't born in the body of a woman. But and then you do have, oh, I'm back into the whole. And then unfortunately, you do have men who present as women to get benefits out of, some of the things that the feminists have achieved for us, And so I have to come to terms with the feminists that I can't stand lately, because they're turned into a bunch of idiotic bitches. Women and trans women and people who, identify as women, we all have got to figure this out, but hopefully it will get to the point where people could just come out as trans when, like they've been a woman all these years. You met them as a woman, and oh, by the way, I'm trans. Oh, you are? Oh, okay, whatever. And it's like like saying, hey, my blood type is O plus. Oh, it is? Oh, mine is A minus. Oh, okay. Let's go have lunch. Hopefully it can get to that point. And some of us have men who are, men, some of us are women with men who are transphobic, and understand, I can understand too, because I don't believe, there's just too many complicating things, but we can't call someone transphobic because your child tells you she's a girl, or your boy, in my case, I was a little girl once. I had a big brother, and I thought he was cool, and he did all kinds of cool stuff, and a lot of times my parents didn't let me do certain things because I was a girl. Okay, that was how they felt. And so one day I did tell my mom I wanted to be a boy. I told her I want to be a boy. Not only I was a girl, I was also younger. I was 2 years younger than my brother. So obviously my brother could maybe run outside, barefoot and not worry about tripping, stuff like that. And I was still a little girl, and my feet were more sensitive, and I couldn't walk very well. I mean, there are reasons. My brother could mow the lawn at a certain age, and they wouldn't let me mow the lawn. They wouldn't let me use the machine. Well, my parents know me. Maybe they know that I'm kind of goofy, and I might have run over my foot or something, And I said, I learned the feminist, you're being sexist because you let him do it, and you're not letting me do it. And there are things that little girls should, in my families, but let's say, okay, but they were pretty reasonable. Of course, I told them I wanted to join the Little League, and they told me I could, and then I didn't do it because I didn't want to. I just was testing, I think, or I thought it would be cool, and then I realized I didn't like it, But so they weren't that bad, they let me. But I don't believe a child should be allowed to go to school and present as a girl at school when he's in second or third grade, and then the teachers not tell the parents. I'm sorry. A parent has a right to know if their child is behaving, if he's a boy at home and a girl at school. A parent has a right to know that. And then, the chips fall where they may. Maybe they are very transphobic parents or whatever, but the school does not have a right, because like I said, you don't want teachers also, which could also happen, putting those ideas into the child's head. I don't think gender should be discussed at all, period, at a certain age, until maybe 8th grade health class, or, you say you all respect each other. You're a boy, you're a girl, period. If the boy wants to play with the dolls, fine, you can play with the dolls, but you dress like a little boy. You go and use the boys' bathroom. If you want, use the stall. Bullying is an issue. Granted, a little boy who's a little bit girly might get bullied in the boys' bathroom, and we do have to recognize that. But we've got to talk about this. Maybe they should have bathroom monitors. Someone either stand outside all the time, or if the young, I guess it's kind of embarrassing at a certain age, like in high school, it would be embarrassing at that point. Maybe a little kid. Actually, little kids shouldn't be going to the bathroom by themselves anyway. I guess a teacher takes them, or I don't know how it works. When I was in grammar school, I remember we would just go to the bathroom by ourselves. So I don't know. Definitely bullying has to be a part of the curriculum for little children. You be nice to everyone. If so-and-so acts like a girl, well, he acts like a girl. But don't start calling him a she and all that. That gender stuff, until 8th grade or so, you go by what you're born into. I know that's hard. I don't know. I could change my mind, because I know the case of this little girl, Jazz Jennings, who truly is transgender, born a boy's body, and she's, so I understand, but those cases are not common. The majority of kids are born in the body that they're supposed to be born into and that they feel. And I think all this other stuff is being, the adults just kind of, oh, you're not a boy or a girl. You decide. No, you don't decide. You are born a boy if you're born with the thing, And if you're a girl, if you're born with the other thing, and that's it, period. And the rest we'll work it out as we go along. But there's got to be some place to depart from. And that doesn't mean I hate trans people and that and again, you say something like that and you're told that you're a bigot and you're a transphobe and suddenly you're a racist because you don't agree that little boys necessarily should be presenting as little girls. And suddenly, what does that have to do with race? These are my experiences, and I'm angry, and then people will whatever. And then I hit your Facebook Messenger, make sure everything was okay. Okay, thank you. I really better go. I got to feed my doggy. I didn't snap as much gum as I should have. I probably lost some viewers because I got angry and political. Anyway, whatever. We got to be able to talk, because if you're not able to talk, we can't reach an understanding. Oh, my point was, when I was a little girl, I told my mother that I was a boy. I said, I told her I wanted to be a boy. I didn't say I was a boy. I said, I want to be a boy. And one day I dressed up for school, and I put on a baseball cap, and I put on my brother's pants, and I dressed all boyish. And yeah, my mother said, you are not a little boy. You go up there and you put on the pants that mommy bought you and this and that. And I did. And I felt embarrassed. And I'm not scarred for life by it. It turns out I am a woman, and I'm happy to be a woman. Okay. That's usually the case, but you do give them some pushback at first. Okay. Let's say I would have kept insisting. Okay. Maybe then, yeah, the parents got to start thinking, okay, well, maybe, but you've got to give some pushback. You've got to say no and be firm about it. No, little boys do not dress in dresses to go outside or whatever. And again, you're not going to beat the child if the poor child continues insisting. Okay, but if you put into a child's mind that he's a little girl at age 2, he's going to believe it and continue on and be very confused. You need to give them 2 examples of a boy and a girl, a man and a woman. Then you can vary off it. You can realize, well, okay, I was presented that's what my parents taught me, but I do believe parents need to lighten up, the ones who are very extreme, and say, look, sometimes you can present what you feel is best, and then the child chooses another. It happens even with other things that have nothing to do with the sex. You can tell your child it's not right to be a taxi driver, for example, and your child decides that he likes driving taxi, and he does well, and he does it well, and he picks up his customers, and he's good at his job, and he's ethical, and the work, if he loves it and that's what he likes, and maybe he owns his taxi someday. Parents do need to let the child grow as they want, as they eventually do. But no, I don't like it at all. I don't have children, but I would not accept that until 8th grade they start putting these ideas in my child's head. He can discuss it with me at home, and of course I'll listen, like my mother did. She said, well, at first she said, okay, you can dress like a boy, but then she realized, granted, she was sad. I saw sadness in her face. It was like I was dressed like a little boy, and I saw this sadness in her face, because yeah, she did put a lot into me, because I was a girl and she was a girl, and there was that. I'm not saying she was completely right, but it didn't end my life. It didn't, because as it turns out, I wasn't transgender. I wasn't a boy. I didn't want to be a boy. I just wanted to have the fun that my brother seemed to be having with his friends. And I think that happens very commonly, that kids, I think my brother once, as a joke, put on a dress and was running around the house. And okay, that doesn't mean he's transgender. He was just having fun, and it was funny. And my mother laughed a little bit, and he wasn't being disrespectful. He was too young to even understand what being disrespectful was. We were about the same size, my brother and I, when we were little. I was younger, but he grew later. He sprouted later. So at a certain time, I was even the same height as he was. and about the same weight. He was a little bigger, but my dress fit him. I think he put on my dress. And then it was just funny. Hey, he's wearing my dress. Ha ha ha. You're a boy and you're in a girl's dress. It's not being disrespectful. I can see how a small child who truly is a girl could be hurt by something like that. And in our house, there didn't happen to be anyone that would be hurt by something like that. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should try to live as a man for a day just to see, I don't know if I could pull it off. I'm talking and I'm blabbing and I'm whatever. And nobody's responding. So they're probably saying, what is this nutty lady? Look, I always lose viewers when I start talking politics and stuff. So, all right, I'm going to go, you guys. Thank you for visiting and coming in. And I'll respond to the messenger, but I am okay. I have to learn not to close the screen, not to close the website when I'm on StreamYard. I wonder if there's an app I can download. Maybe that's what it is. But all right, 4 viewers again. Oh, and I'm just about to sign off. Whoever just came in, but you can watch it. It's a long ramble, and I talk loud. It's not relaxing. I'll talk to you guys soon. How do I turn this off? Oh, it says leave studio and broadcast. It's up here. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye. Thanks for watching.